Hey, you see, this is Harvey of Spinning the Black Circle, and welcome to Harvey's Vinyl Haul, episode 1. So, Harvey's Vinyl Haul is going to be a bit of a juxtaposition to Friday Night Vinyl, actually, because Friday Night Vinyl is going to be topic based, what's happening in the VC, what's on my mind. Friday Night Vinyl we may talk about a particular genre or artist, but Harvey's Vinyl Hauls will be what records have I bought recently and why am I excited about them. And there's quite a batch to go through today, and I want to do it justice. So let's get stuck into episode 1 with the first LP I want to talk about, which is Judy the Unsinkable by the British singer-songwriter Judy Zook. Now, I don't know how well known Judy Zook is outside of the UK, but she had a big hit in the UK in 1977 with her debut single Stay With Me Till Dawn, and it was from her debut LP Welcome to the Cruise, which was actually released on Elton John's Rocketman Records label, which I assume is now defunct. But anyway, what's special about her music is it's not straight ahead pop in the same way that Kate Bush or Annie Lennox has a clear artistic bent running through what they're trying to convey. Judy Zook is definitely that, has been that throughout her career. In this 2023 LP, Judy the Unsinkable is no exception. There are prog elements on here. It's clearly trying to translate something, and what's even more special about it is she's in her 70s now, and it's clearly the work of a woman who's trying to translate something in her music. Lyrically, yes, because there are songs here about her mental state, about having a finite amount of time, which I guess is a concern for anybody of a certain age, but also musically too, the arrangements and how careful and how melodic it is actually. So this isn't an LP that's bound up by any commercial concerns about unit shifting. It's on Big Moon Records, which I think must be her own self-financed label, or a small label at least. So in the same way that, let's think, Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan was him just deciding to release something of exactly how he was feeling because of a point of time, what was happening to him. That's what's happening on Judy the Unsinkable. But it's an LP that has depth to it. I'd recommend it. And it would be good to hear from US VC members actually. Is Judy Zook known in the US? If she's not, this would be a great place to start. It's a late career high is how I would describe it. It's an amazing LP. She's on tour at the minute. But yeah, Judy the Unsinkable by Judy Zook. Can't recommend it enough if you like pop music with depth. Superb record. I changed tack into something that is very well known. And a bit of a step back, first of all. There are 3 artists, stroke bands, that I'm trying my best to get original first, second or third pressings. All 3 of them are British artists on vinyl. They are the Beatles, the Stones and Black Sabbath. That's not because of some sort of show-off approach to record collecting or kind of a library approach to record collecting. I genuinely think on all 3 cases, where I'm dipping into those early pressings, there's a sound quality difference, and the music is just hitting me in a different way. So I picked up recently a Beatles album and a Sabbath album. I'm going to talk about both. So Beatles is interesting. So the White Album is the only Beatles mono that was eluding me. So what I'm trying to do is source VG Plus or near mint pressings of all of the Beatles albums that were released on mono, and these are normally White Album mono is prohibitively expensive, but I managed to pick this up for not much money. It's quite a low number, actually under 20,000. But again, what I'm hearing if I listen to this, which is in VG Plus condition, particularly on that rhythm section between Ringo and Paul McCartney, is just a lot more punch, and you can pinpoint the instruments more if you listen to any of those Beatles mono albums more than you can on stereo editions. And Sgt. Pepper's is a great example because I love listening to Sgt. Pepper's in stereo, and I've got an early stereo version of it. It's got that wide soundstage and everything that's going on in a massive production. But again, there's something pinpoint about the mono early Sgt. Pepper's I've got, which makes it sound more punchy and more vibrant and more like the Beatles are you're in the studio with the Beatles. So that's what's coming to me. But that's true of the Stones for me too. If I listen to Stones mono versus stereo editions of those Stones LPs that were released in mono. It's a different, it's a closer musical experience. And that's also true of the White Album. So this was the one that was eluding me, so that's why I'm super excited to finally got and completed my Beatles UK mono pressings. But yeah, White Album, all the paraphernalia is in there too, the posters and everything else. So I cleaned it up on the VCS, and it's VG Plus. So the Sabbath one that I picked up, and I'm not yet there on Sabbath Vertigo Swirls, but I picked up Volume 4 as a UK Vertigo Swirl. It's now in VG Plus condition, but let me tell you a story. It was a bit hairy because I got this for not much money and thought I'd got an amazing bargain. And side 1 played perfectly, barely a click or a pop, and I thought, wow. And again, if you listen to Sabbath Vertigo Swirls, particularly Bill Ward's drums and how he goes across the kit, are completely different to any of that reissue I've heard. I've got multiple WWA and NEMs of those early Sabbath albums, and the Vertigo Swirls, without exception so far, beat those reissues hands down, and particularly those Sanctuary represses of those early albums are absolutely dreadful. The current issues, which are digital, are dreadful. Now I know that Rhino in the US have released Sabbath self-titled, and I haven't heard that, so I can't comment. And there's a lot of online discussion about whether a Vertigo Swirl or that Rhino edition is the better. But anyway, that's not for now. This Volume 4, the challenge I had was that side 1 played perfectly. When I got to side 2, it skipped on the first track. So I thought, oh no, because I'm not the sort of record collector that's just going to put it away and being able to put up with the skip. I want to experience it all the way through. But I looked at the groove and I could see on side 2 that whatever the scratch was, it was going along the groove, not across it. So this is not recommended, VC, but I used my fingernail to just carefully scrape along where the scratch was, cleaned it on the VCS, and the skip is entirely gone. So what a relief. And I've played it multiple times and the skip is gone. So it's now restored, having cleaned it up. I've cleaned this about 5 or 6 times, but also got rid of that jump, that skip. This is now, I can confidently say, VG Plus, and my go-to copy of one of the best Sabbath LPs, Volume 4. The one that's eluding me is Master of Reality on Vertigo Swirl. So I've got a WWA and an NEMS pressing of I think I've got an NEMS pressing 2 of Master of Reality, but I need that on Vertigo Swirl. I'm not that interested in the one that's got the poster in, which is hundreds of pounds. I'm in it for the music. So if I can find a VG Plus condition, both in terms of the music and the cover of Master of Reality, I'll be a happy chap. So anyway, I'm on that Sabbath journey, but I'm putting to you that a Vertigo Swirl Sabbath is the place to go for those early sides as the best experience, the best way to experience their music. I'm going to change up tack now for the last few albums to things that are much less well known. Starting with, this LP's okay, and it's worth showing. It's by a UK rock band named Fancy, and it's named Something to Remember. So they didn't achieve any sort of commercial success. I think they had one minor hit with a cover of Wild Thing in 1974. This is their 1975 LP, Something to Remember. I think this has got a more provocative title in the US. I think it's named Fancy Turns You On. But it is good. I would recommend this if you like early Heart LPs, because the singer has a voice that's redolent of, or similar to, Ann Wilson out of Heart. So it's good. The opening track is amazing. She rides the rocket machine, and there's also a really good cover of Stevie Wonder's I Was Made to Love Her, retitled I Was Made to Love Him. So it's good. It's not great, but if you see this on a shelf, it's not going to be much money, particularly if you like classic. It's US influence really, even though a UK band, classic US rock, particularly if you like the first 2 or 3 Heart albums. It's worth picking up if you see it for not much money. On to something that I really am excited to have, which is Gagged But Not Bound by Albert Lee, which was a mid-80s LP, I think about 85, 86, but I could be wrong. So Albert Lee was part of Emmylou Harris's Hot Band. He's an English guitarist. He was in a band, a a country rock band named Head, Hands and Feet in the early 70s, but he's renowned as a studio musician, helped out acts like Deep Purple. He's across multiple albums, but this is his one of his solo LPs. So predominantly predominantly instrumental. But what's amazing about this is the range of styles he's able to play. Everything from country to rock to jazz to rockabilly. And I don't mean that in a kind of, and it still sounds like a complete picture, this LP, in terms of what he's doing. So it's not just a series of different styles, but his ability on that instrument to get across styles is unbelievable, and the compositions here are fantastic too. This is some sort of audiophile release. Actually, it looks like it's on a Burbank, California Virgin vinyl releasing KM Records, but it sounds absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it wasn't much money, but because I'm a big Emmylou Harris hot band fan, and that amazing band she had across those 70s albums, I thought I'd pick this up, and I was not disappointed. So something I'm coming back to again and again is Gagged But Not Bound by Albert Lee. Don't see it in the world much, but I don't think you'll have much trouble getting this online. If you try this next album, again, I've been playing a lot, and it is the debut LP by Pentangle, which is self-titled or called The Pentangle. So I mean, for some reason the Pentangle seem to play a second fiddle to Fairport Convention, probably because of Sandy Denny and that whole mythology, or the thing that comes with an artist who's died young in the canon. Was she part of the 27 Club? Sandy Denny, anyway. Sandy Denny died really young. Whereas the Pentangle, Jackie McShea, how dare she, is still alive. But for me, the Pentangle were a better folk rock band. And what a lineup. You had Bert Yance, John Renbourn, Danny Thompson on bass, and then obviously Jackie McShea's amazing vocals. Now this, the sound of this, which is on Transatlantic Records. If you see any Transatlantic label folk albums, the sound quality tends to be amazing. So I'm talking about UK pressing, Transatlantic studio albums. This sounds like an audiophile album because of how well recorded, mixed and mastered it is. But the other thing that's special about this, let's get into the music, is I think I've heard an LP that successfully melds folk and jazz. But particularly the drums on this, but all the instrumentation, actually, it does just that without it sounding jarring. So it's kind of, you're looking at like 7-8 minute tracks that properly meld jazz and folk and make it sound coherent, and it's also a compelling music picture too. So absolutely sensational. This is a UK original, maybe even a first pressing. This won't be dirt cheap to pick up. You're probably looking at, depending on quality, between £25 and £40 for this, but not that difficult to get hold of in the UK or on Discogs. Not sure about the US, but yeah, I've got a number of Pentangle records, but this is the best I've heard. Their debut, fresh, such amazing instrumentation, and that meld of folk and jazz is just something else. So the Pentangle, those who, I talked about audiophile records on Friday Night Vinyl, those who are just in it for the sound quality in the system, you could do worse than to pick up this. But for those who are interested in musical content too, this is an amazing debut LP. I'm going to finish with something that very, very few will have heard of, but you can quite easily get hold of it. Maybe slightly more difficult to get hold of outside of the UK. Released on Segatron Records, just down the road from me, and it's by a European musician. I'm going to mispronounce his name now, but I think his name is Timo Paco, and this is his LP. I think the second LP named They Never Made It. So this is limited to 100 copies. You'd have to contact Segatron Records in the UK, but where was it worth it? So what he does, which is fantastic on this, is he's mocked up this LP as if these are long lost 60s bands, and it's mocked up as if it's a compilation by them. So it's everything from psychedelia to folk, to prog on here, and you've got these great names of bands, the Concentration Storage 5, the Bavarian Illuminati, or the N-Suites. And it's absolutely tremendous. I mean, he's a multi-instrumentalist. I think his main instrument is guitar, As I said, this is limited to 99 copies via Segatron Records, and each cover has been hand painted. You can stream this. So the thing to do with the Never Made It is look up this title on whatever streaming service you use. Just validate what I'm saying, that this is amazing music, and then contact Segatron Records if you like it, and yeah, I highly recommend it. It's about £20 in the UK that Segatron are selling it for, but there's something going on here with independent record stores. A lot of them do, couple with artists in this environment and bring out releases that aren't widely commercially available. So probably something that's worth doing in the VC community if you're lucky enough to have a record store near you that works side by side with bands to do issues, because these are made and conceived by record store owners with the artist who are interested in the music and getting great music out there, which is why you can chance upon some fantastic stuff. So anyway, They Never Made It, Volume 2, in fact, by again mispronounced, I think, Timo Paco. It's amazing. Stream it if you like it. Then contact Segatron Records. So there you go. That is episode 1 of Harvey's Vinyl Haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll do these fairly regularly in between Friday Night Vinyl, because I'm always I'll try to stop, but I'm always buying new stuff and enjoying new stuff. But as ever, it is about the music. And I'll leave it there. Bye.